This is Jonathan St. James, and you're listening to The Truth is Still Straight podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is The Truth is Still Straight podcast, and I'm your host, Jonathan St. James, in the building. All right, enough of that. First of all, I want to start off and give a shout out to my sister, V. Today is her birthday, which is February 5th, 2023. I want to give her a shout out because, of course, she's a beloved of mine. So I got to give her a shout out for her birthday. Happy birthday. Hope you enjoyed many more. All right. And then also to all those who support the show.
It feels so lovely to be here tonight. What a beautiful art. Give yourselves a round of applause. You're so lovely. Everyone's so lovely.
Yeah. So I want to thank those who take the time out every week. I don't know who most of you are. Some of you do comment all the time, and I definitely love it. I definitely enjoy hearing from people like Cameron Evans. I appreciate that. Pedro Falcone, who tends to listen, although he's kind of an incognito lately. I haven't heard much from him. Milton Gonzalez, who's always on the scene. Thank you for always showing up. New subscriber, Richard Bernard. Rod Kubo, who recently subscribed after last week. Who else we got here? V, Sister Millie from the West Coast, who's always listening, not recently commenting. You better get back on the ball. I don't have to come out there and get you. Also, Tessie, who's always on my shoulder, like Jiminy Cricket, talking about taking long for these intros. So I'm trying to keep the intros down. Rada Submissive Wife, Burundi Child, Smile One Day, Jario, all those people. And for those who I didn't mention and you watch or you listen or whatever you're doing in the background, I appreciate it. But also, I want to give a shout out to those who don't and say they will. And those people are Dawn Lester and Beverly. All right, you got it. Okay, so we're about to get onto this. Kevin Samuels back again. We took a brief hiatus, a couple of episodes we didn't do Kevin Samuels, but I'm back on again. I saw a couple of interesting things I wanted to talk about. Again, I want to keep this short, so we're going to go to the IG models of Baddies happen when the party is over. That episode, August 29th, 2021. This video comes in on the 12:13 mark. This means 12 minutes and 13 seconds and finishes at 25:36. Now, I will keep a link in the description for the whole video so you can check it out when you get a chance. All right, folks, without further ado, we're going to get into this Kevin Samuels. I have it queued up, so we're about to get it on and popping.
My question is, hello?
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. How old are you?
27.
Cool. Let me know when you're getting ready. Are you ready?
Yeah, let me just pop up the phone.
All right.
All right.
So you're 27. You said you have a lot of opinions?
Yeah, I just feel like sometimes I watch and I just have very different opinions from what's being said here. So I feel like I could give a different opinion maybe.
Well, what is your opinion based in?
Right.
My own experiences, maybe different upbringing. I'm Canadian, so I think a lot of the people that you've had on are also American, so it could be a little bit different out here.
What are some of the opinions that are different?
Stupid.
The way women have perceived dating from what I've seen in your lives or the expectations that they have.
Go ahead. What do you mean?
Well, and you have to pick a subject more.
Right.
Now, you pick. Do you have a disagreement?
Off the top of my head, there were a few, but like for example, like right now you're talking about renting a husband.
Religion. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I'm talking about a business that actually exists.
Yeah, I've heard about it, and I mean a version of it, but your thought process is that women over the age of 36 would have to rent a husband or die alone because they're not available to men anymore because they're in the 36 to 60 bracket.
Is that what I said?
Well, I just don't understand. Like, I'm asking for like clarification.
If you can't find, the question was very simple. See, let's do this. I asked a very simple question. Ladies, if you can't find a husband, are you prepared to hire a husband or buy one?
Right.
So if you can't find one, then what?
Well, so let's say, why can't you find a husband? What if
you can't. It doesn't matter. See, that's the point. See, I've already addressed that. See, you ladies always want to go back and ask questions that are irrelevant. You can't find one. Go forward from there. Then what?
Find other ways to make yourself happy. Find other love in your life.
Didn't
find
answer the
something
question.
else to focus on.
Platonic marriage, like they had on the cover of New York Times.
Why does it have to be platonic?
Okay, excuse me. You know what platonic marriage is?
Yeah.
What is it? Women marrying women?
It's like a friend, someone you don't have sexual relations with.
Women marrying women is what they're talking about. What is it? Compound living. Ma'am, this is on the cover. This is an article in New York Times 2 weeks ago.
No, I believe you.
So are you saying that women just live solo by themselves for the rest of their lives?
I mean, there's been a lot of successful, happy.
Most women don't. Most women don't. The women who come to this channel want relationships.
And I totally agree with you. That's why.
If they can't find a husband, and they want a companion, what's the alternative? Get a man. No, they can't find a husband. That means the kind and caliber. See, you don't see. I don't think you get it.
No, I get what you're saying. So
no, you don't.
You can't find a husband. That means you can't find another man.
Okay, can't find a husband. Could be for several reasons, right? Maybe you have.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
I understand.
Doesn't matter. No man.
No man. No man, but no man what? Not even, you can't find someone to hook up with you? It's pretty.
How dare you?
Nothing. Zero. Okay, I mean, yeah, I guess marry your friends if that's the case. If you're.
Does that mean that's still? Are you talking about a man? Is that your friend is a female?
Well, I mean, if you're saying platonic relationship would have meant that.
You're not the question. See, this is part of the problem. Women have been made to think that men are an inexhaustible fuel source, and that's not true.
Okay.
Look at women over 55. Halle Berry complaining she can't find a man. The most beautiful woman 3 times in a row. And I'm talking to a woman right now who cannot even conceive of a world to where there are no men options that a woman can get. No friends, no hookup, no nothing. If you can't find a husband or a man, the only way to get a man would be through this rent-a-jet.
Well, I'm gonna stop it there because I want to talk about what he said there. So she's saying hook up. Yes, definitely there's people out there that'll hook up with you. But when you get a certain age, what's the cost of hooking up with somebody like that? Who are you gonna hook up with? I know people who do it who are very older in life, and it's not very rewarding for them to hook up with men having sex and then the guy just bounces and goes somewhere else. It's not very conducive to older women when they get in their 60s. I know some women who do it because what else they gonna do? They can't get the relationship that they seek from these men, so they have to kind of accept whatever the terms they're gonna get from somebody that they're interested in. A lot of these guys are short-term relationships, but they're just really just in it for whatever happens in the initial. And then they kind of run out of the picture in the long term. I've seen lots of that because, of course, I know women of all ages, and I definitely have a lot of acquaintances and some friends that would say are of the older persuasion. And this is something they experience quite often. And this hookup culture, sometimes it's online. They meet these guys on these dating websites, apps, whatever you want to say. And then it's for a little while, and then the guy disappears, and now they're back at it again. And it's not very rewarding to them. They seek something a lot more meaningful, especially at that age. So, yeah, let's continue.
By a situation, would you do it? See, men can answer that question and say, yeah, because that's what we've always had to do. But women think men are free.
Yeah.
That's a good point, and I don't disagree with the logic there. I do think that probably that's how people are thinking. I just think that renting somebody as a companion is just something that maybe is not the norm, and which is why it's something that
sure it is.
A lot of men do it. Men do it.
Maybe not in my world.
I know men.
It's called prostitution.
Okay, but that's not platonic.
Excuse me, ma'am. Prostitution is otherwise known as the world's oldest what?
Profession.
Yeah, but that's not platonic.
No,
and
no,
that's
answer
not a
the question. No,
companion.
no, 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 no. It's otherwise known as the world's oldest what?
I have no idea.
Profession.
Profession.
Facts.
Okay.
The first original business, meaning listen, this has been the oldest exchange. I give you food, you give me sex.
Yeah.
It's always been that way. So listen,
on,
because no,
Okay.
because you say it's unusual. It's unusual for women to have to buy penis is what's unusual.
That's
Okay.
unusual. Facts.
So the only thing that's different from what you just said, because I think that there was some misunderstanding there, you said if you were renting your husband, you would be renting him platonically, not for sex.
No, you don't get sex automatically because, and I'll tell you why.
Not the same thing
Well,
as
that doesn't mean the one. Okay, ma'am, you want to seem to split hairs instead of talk about the general damn subject. Can we talk about the middle part? Don't give me the tangential points. You have not talked about the subject yet. Well, women, because see, if I said, hey guys, if you can't find a woman, you can't find a wife, would you be willing to rent a woman? And guys are like, yeah, it's called prostitution.
Well, I want to even get in that. I know men who do it, older men. In fact, they have agreements with women that they will pay for their time in their companionship. And sometimes sex is involved and sometimes sex isn't, depending on the man. There's some men who just can't have sex, so they look for the companionship. So yeah, men do it. I think the issue in difference between men and women is men often see the circumstance in front of them and make the adjustment when it can be conducive. It's not always conducive, but when it can be conducive to them. So if they have the means to pay a woman for companionship or pay for her time, and it's not necessarily an agreement saying, oh, I'm going to pay for your time, you're just going to be around. Most of the time, these women know what's going down. You know, they're younger, a lot younger. The guy's a lot older. They kind of know what the deal is. So they don't necessarily frame it like that, saying, I'm going to pay you, you're going to be my woman. But, you know, the guy talks to the woman, he breaks her off, and maybe they talk about a relationship, but there's a lot of money that's exchanging hands there, taking care of her, taking her out, buying her things, taking her around in cars and stuff like that. And then the agreement is that she'll be around and offer him companionship. Some women are very direct, depending if they're from, especially out of the country, they're from other countries, Dominican Republic, like that. Oh yeah, they will approach you and tell you they want money, and they'll be very, very friendly for that. But yeah, it does happen. So
the thing about the hugging services where women are being paid to go over and provide the girlfriend experience, you know these things exist. They exist in Canada. But see, what you can't conceive of is the opposite, where women have to do it. That's what we're talking about.
Okay.
Because like it or not, how old are you?
27.
27. 10 years from now, if you're still unmarried, no children, and no prospects, then what?
I don't think that would be something I personally would consider. That's just me as a person. I think that I'd find other ways to make myself happy, but I understand what you're saying.
The other way is buy a dog, die alone. Okay. Or see, what we're getting to is the fundamental disconnect in relationships. Modern women have so broken the relationship contract, the social contract between men. Now you're actually having to do what men are doing to get women. See, what women used to do to get a man was just have a low body count and no kids. Right. And if you give me exclusive access to your body and your womb, I'll give you my exclusive access to my resources and my non-sexual attention. But now, women can make choices. Well, if you can't get somebody to marry that, and you want somebody to grow old with, and you can't find them, you got to rent them.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So let's say this hypothetical 36-year-old woman who can't find a man.
No, she's 40, so we're going to put her in her 40s.
Oh, we're putting her in her 40s.
Because 36, they still feel young. That's why I said 36 45. To 60. Yeah.
Let's make her 45.
Yeah.
No kids, she's single, now. Never been married, whatever you want, whatever background situation, and she can't find a man that she is ready, willing, and able to settle down with. If she let's say, wasn't comfortable renting a man, why is it, in your opinion, that she can't, let's say, work on whatever it is that's making her unattractive to men?
Because she's out of time.
So 45.
At 45, she's running. The answer is she's running out of time. If she hasn't,
running out of time biologically. Wait, I didn't finish my question, because she's running out of time biologically to have children.
He's running the show later.
Oh, that's over.
Yeah, so maybe that's not her thing. Maybe she just wants a man like as a partner. But why are there no single 45 to 60-year-old men that she can ballpark with, like go into that ballpark with? Why does she have to date
You
someone
want the
who's
answer?
not looking
You
for
want the
someone her
answer?
age?
You want the answer?
Yeah.
Because what this question belies is a women that you ladies don't understand men. If she's 45 and all these things, attractive or whatever, and if
Yeah.
she hasn't been able to find a man at the peak of her hotness, she hasn't figured out what's wrong with her at 45. If she's just now starting to figure it out, it's likely too late to correct it.
Okay, that's a fair point.
And I'm gonna tell you the truth from my experience. Certainly older women tend to bring that aggression with them in terms of being confrontational and not cooperative. I'm telling you, it's just not there. Even now, women in their 30s now are very confrontational. Um, so when you're 45, and first of all, a lot of times, unless you meet women like I know a lot of women that they're I've known them for many years, and now after all these years of kind of juggling relationships, they're looking for meaningful, but they don't look the same like they used to, and the guys are not interested in the way they used to be interested. And I know that's a culture shock for a lot of women because they're not used to men seeing them, and they're not as fly or lit, whatever you want to call it now. When women are not as beautiful now, even though they think they are in their head, they're not as beautiful as they were when they were like in their 20s, late teens, and maybe even 30s. So they get to the point they don't look the same anymore, but they think men should be interested in them the same way they were when they were younger, and that's not always the case. So guys, when a woman sees a guy, maybe he's trying to talk to her at that age, and she's trying to make him jump through hoops like she was 20 years old. The guy's like, no. And I've been there. I've been in situations when I was younger. It's like dealing with an older woman who wanted to deal with me like she was a kid, a teenager, and she was my age. And I'm like, no, why would I want to deal with a grown woman like I would deal with a young woman? It makes no sense. I remember, I won't get into it too much, but I know a woman, she was quite a bit older than I was. She liked me, I liked her. And this was a while ago, many years ago. And I remember I would call her and her phone would be disconnected. She didn't pay her bill and her phone got disconnected. And I'm like, why would I deal with a grown woman who has grown kids and can't pay her phone bill? I mean, no. So had to let that go. I mean, she was a nice person, but I'm like, you very got childish behaviors. And then it was a whole lot going on there, and it just didn't feel worth it. I couldn't find anything that was beyond dealing with those red flags that she had. There were others, but that was just the one I wanted to illustrate. All right, this video is almost over, so let me play the end of it.
Right? And there is not a lot of time for women to fix what's wrong and still find men on a suitable level. See, at least this scenario, you can actually rent a guy on the level you want to and pretend. See, men have always had to do that. And so you ladies, and in Korea, Japan, Canada, Australia, the UK, birthrights are falling.
Right.
Dating in Canada, y'all are fooled.
Why?
It's a liberal feminist paradise, and men are just tired of it.
Okay.
I mean, 36 or 37 years old, 60, 70 years ago, you'd have been married, had 2 or 3 kids by now, and been on the way to possibly being a grandmother.
That's
yeah,
right.
at that age, I could see that that's very true. I guess for me, it was more difficult to swallow the idea of either you rent a husband or you die alone. Like, I feel like that's just two very big extremes.
Well, if you can't, okay. In the Black community, 1 out of 4 Black women will marry. What does that mean the other 3? The 3 that don't marry, what does that mean they're going to do?
You tell me.
No. If 1 out of 4 Black women will marry in their lifetime, the 3 out of 4 women that don't marry in their lifetime, they're going to die what?
Alone.
Okay, I guess alone, or could be just not married. Maybe they're in a relationship.
Alone, unmarried means alone. How we keep score?
By marriages.
Okay. Where in the world can women live and exist individually by themselves and survive without the help of the group?
Nah, B.
So like codependency.
No, you're not meant to be alone on the planet. You need the group. You need a man. That's the point.
Yeah, no, I don't.
And here's the problem. Why it seems to be such an issue is because how extreme it sounds. It almost seems punitive.
Yeah, it does.
Because it is.
Okay, that's the point.
It is meant to be punitive.
Okay.
You couldn't get a man during your sexual marketplace value when it was the highest. You chosen to do whatever. You mismanaged your hot years. Now you got to buy it. Men accept the punitive measure. See, if a man is physically unattractive, has no game, whatever, we understand that we got to go out and get resources and pay for it. That's punitive too, right?
Yeah, but don't you find that there's always that one like guy that you're describing right there that somehow ends up with the girl because maybe
I don't give a shit about that. That's the problem. You haven't seen too many of these Disney movies. Go to the best strip clubs in your area on a Friday or Saturday night and look at all those hot women and look at all the guys in the audience. They're not hot guys. They're guys who realize in order to get some time with her, I got to give her some money. And guys do that. But you probably have 100 strip clubs for men and for every one strip club you have for women, because women think penis is free. It's not. It's only free to a certain age.
Right.
Rent-a-gen exists for a reason.
Okay. I get your point. I don't think everything you're saying is wrong. I guess the punitive nature of it is not what I'm used to the way I look at the world.
Till you get there.
You're 30. You're 37, but tell me how you look at it.
I'm
36, 27. I'm sorry. Tell me how you look at the. Tell me how you look at the world at age 52, unmarried with no children.
Yeah, if that's the case, maybe I'll look at it the way that you do. But,
are your mother and father married?
Yes, they are.
All right. How long they been married?
30 years.
So what age did your mom get married?
She was 29.
29. So are you seeing anybody?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Then don't blow it.
Yeah, I'll try.
Because you don't want to end up being out here at 50 years old or 45 trying to rent a gent saying, that guy tried to tell me all those years ago. Damn it, I just should have stayed in it. Because I've asked this question to women too. Ladies, if you knew now that the last guy you broke up with would have been your last guy ever you got in life, would you have worked harder? And every woman has told me, yeah. That means ladies think that men are inexhaustible, and that's just not true. But good conversation. We'll get on to the next one.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. I think it's fair.
And that's the end of the video there. So I just want to give a brief commentary on that and say, for the most part, I think she understood clearer on his comments and what he was trying to say. But here's the thing. I can see she's not ready to heed the comments that he said to her. And that's the problem. A lot of these women, they tune in, they ask them these questions, but they're not ready. I've definitely have gotten some hate from some people I used to associate with. I know in the world we call them friends, but not really friends, but ladies that I've known. Then I've tried to give them sound advice, and they've only got angry because I didn't follow the platonic friends that always suck up because they didn't want to be so platonic. And that's always been my relationship with women in general. Even if I was interested in them, I never was interested in a woman to want to stroke the ego just for her to like me. So the woman had to like me for me, and while I'll be myself. And if I'm not suitable under those circumstances, then so be it. But I'm never going to pretend to be someone else just to get in good with a woman. That was just never my mantra. And it's not to say that I'm perfect or the greatest alive, but those are the rules that I play and I follow when I know women. It's never, or people in general. I don't meet people to suck up to them to be a friend. I be a friend based on my character, not to get over on somebody or to get a benefit from someone. That's what a lot of people do. They suck energy out or they suck resources out from other people based on what they have to offer. They got money, they got nice things, they got status. They usually try to cater to those people's egos to be a part of it. All right, it is time for the braces. Relationship braces. Bringing hearts together, one heart at a time. 27-year-old Canadian woman dating somebody. what could I tell you if you're watching to not ruin that thing that Kevin was telling you with your boyfriend and get it right? Well, I don't have a lot of braces for her because I can see what's going on there. So if her boyfriend is the beta type, emasculated, she's good. She's good. You know, there's a couple of types of men out there, and that beta type, they usually like those women that kind of have that masculinity, that strength in them, that aggressiveness. So if he's not that type, if he's is the kind of person that offers pushback, you're gonna have to adjust that personality and not be so aggressive. Because a guy, when you carry those qualities, if you have things that he likes, he'll tolerate you until he can't tolerate you anymore. So that's my advice to you. I think women have to look at themselves in the mirror and see what it is that they're actually bringing towards relationships and be honest with it. You know, I just gave someone advice the other day telling them that they seem like one of the boys. So it's going to be hard for men to take them seriously when they up there doing things that male friends do, insult each other, talk reckless, you know, clowning. I don't know too many men that want to be with women in serious relationships when the woman's just clowning, just never serious and just joking around, and you know, there's no intimate moments between them. I don't know a lot of men who like that. I mean, maybe hobosexuals and guys who can't get a lot of women, but I don't know a lot of guys who like that. But those are the braces. All right, folks, I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. For those of you who tuned in, thank you. Once again, happy birthday, V. I will shout everyone out next week. Until then, have a good one. I am out.